furthest from you?
You know, I just turned 50 years old, and spending time with you this evening has made me 5 years younger. I admire your energy and your spirit. Keep it up. So, I was asked by some of your leaders to come this evening to spend time with you, and I was honored. I have to share 30 minutes with you to tell you about myself. I did not prepare any speech. As Will Smith told me, Bennett, always speak from your heart. Okay? So if I don't do so well, don't laugh at me. But I promise you, I should speak from my heart. Okay? Okay. Now, while I was sitting there, some of you came up to me. Some said I was very inspiring. Some said I was this, I was that. I've traveled all around the world giving speeches. But please, if you look at me tonight, know that I'm not different from you. I'm not better than you. I'm just like you. If I could stand here tonight talking to you, someday you could be standing on some platform talking to students too. There is nothing extraordinary about me. I was born on September 1, 1968, during the Nigerian Biafran War. It was a war like you had in Syria. A part of Nigeria broke away from Nigeria, and the Nigerian armed forces were bombarding the refugees. My family happened to be one of those refugees in a mountain village called Nogwa. My parents and my brothers and sisters. Now, if you ask me why my parents should decide to conceive me in a time of war as refugees, I do not know. But I forgave them because if you think about it, maybe sex was the only reasonable recreational activity for refugees. So my mother carried me as a refugee. She suffered the traumas of war. Hunger was transformed into a weapon of war. So my mother suffered deprivations while I was in the womb. In fact, the day I was born, my father was one of the numerous victims of the bombardments. He lay motionless by the roadside, and the Catholic charities came by to pick him up, to dump him in the truck for a mass grave. Then he groaned, and they said, oh, he is alive. And they brought him to the same hospital where I was born, a dilapidated refugee hospital. Everybody believed he was going to die. But for some miraculous reason, 2 weeks after I was born, he was able to see them. And my mother hurriedly took me to him. He carried me in his bosom and gave me the name Bennett, from the French verb Benoit, to bless. For I was a blessing unto his life. And he gave me a Middle African name, If I Can Do. My 9-year-old daughter Ashley calls it If I Can Do. If I Can Do means life is the greatest gift of all. My last name Omalu actually is not my last name. My true last name is Omalu. He who knows shall come forth and speak. But while my father was an engineering student in England, Cornwall, England, after the Second World War, Omalu was too long a name for the British man to say, so he cut it short to Omalu, which is very good for me today in America. So my name, Bernard If I Can Do Omalu, means I'm blessed. My life is the greatest gift of all. And if I know, I must come forth and speak. This has epitomized my life in America. But like I told you, the first 3-4 years of my life before the war ended, I suffered malnutrition. Like you will see, I suffered from kwashiorkor, the extreme of protein energy malnutrition. So as I got older, I began to manifest the symptoms of the traumas I suffered. I'm not ashamed to tell you. As I got older, I began to manifest depression. All my childhood, I struggled and suffered depression. I developed a very low self-esteem. I believed everybody was better than me. It was so bad that I did not have a girlfriend till I was 27 years old. And in fact, my first girlfriend was 10 years older than me. I was a no good child. In fact, while I was growing up, I was not good at anything. Nothing, name it. Anything you think somebody could be good at, I wasn't. I was called all types of names. I was called lazy. I was called antisocial. I was called a truant. But I kept on keeping on, my brothers and sisters. You will discover that the darkest and most difficult times of your life may be your best platform to discover who you are and reaffirm who you are. So because I was no good at anything, I couldn't play the soccer ball. I could do nothing because I was dealing with depression. I felt so inadequate. I felt unintelligent. I felt no good. I thought I was ugly. I thought I was too short. Everything negative I felt. But in the darkness of my loneliness, I began to spend time by myself and I began to discover education. I discovered that you may be the strongest boy in the neighborhood, but if there was something I knew you did not know, I had some superiority over you. And you would come to me for that knowledge I had. So what did I do? That little thing I could do in my loneliness, I held on to it. I started reading. And luckily, I became intellectually gifted. I began grade school at 3 and got into medical school at the age of 15. So, where was that child that was depressed? But I never wanted to go to medical school. As a child, I had a dream of flying jets all over the world, of being a pilot, so that I could fly from San Francisco to France, Paris, spend the night with a beautiful French woman. Maybe wake up, fly from Paris to Sydney, spend the night with yet another Australian woman, come back to San Francisco, spend the night here with another American woman. But as laughable as that may sound, that was a true depiction of who I was. A man who wanted to live a simple life, enjoy the simple things of life. But it wasn't meant to be. Like the prior slide I showed you, conformational intelligence. My parents decided that I should go to medical school. Because in Nigeria of those days, the society believed that the smartest students in class must go to medical school. Says who? So that I'm a doctor today was a confirmation to the societal tradition. I was a victim of it. I wasn't cut out for medical school. For crying out loud, I wanted to be a pilot who would fly around the world, spending beautiful nights across the world. For the first 2-3 years of medical school, what happened? My depression became worse. My grades went down south. But like I told you, learn to be patient with yourself. No matter how difficult the road may be, no matter how dark it may look, don't lose faith in yourself. Because one day, next slide. That was me when I was 4 years old. You could see how stony my face looks in that picture. I'm in the middle. That was how stony my childhood looked. But listen to this. There was a day it came to almost the last day for me. I had lost hope. I was tired. But that quiet voice in me called me by name. Bennett. Called me by name, Bennett. That was me when I was about 7 years old. And I answered. I said, yes. And that voice said to me, sit down. Think about it. My name is Bennett Omalu. Your name may be Jennifer Hammers, Robert Fitzsimmons. Whatever your name may be, say it quietly in your heart. I'm Bennett. And that voice said to me, Bennett, there shall never be another you throughout all eternity. There shall never, ever be another Bennett Omalu. Just like each and every one of you here, there shall never be another you. This is your only time, your only stage, and your only place. There shall never be another replica of you throughout all eternity. So mankind shall not be complete without me. Just like mankind cannot be complete without you. So, the best thing I could do for myself and for mankind is to be myself. The best contribution you could make to mankind, to make mankind whole, is to reaffirm, confidently celebrate who you are. It does not matter if I have a fat belly. It does not matter if I have an accent. It does not matter if my skin tone is a bit too dark. Says who? Nobody shall be better in being Bennett Omalu than Bennett Omalu. If I choose to be like someone else, then I'm denying myself of me, and I'm denying mankind of me. So the best thing I could do for myself and for all of us is to simply be myself. Now, if somebody says Omalu is too loud, and so what?
Amen.
If somebody says I behave abnormally, says who? Who decides or who determines what you should be like? You, thank you so much. So that day, that moment, I decided to accept myself for who I was. Yes, I was suffering a depression. And so what? Yes, I was inadequate. And so what? And my brothers and sisters, that was the day I discovered life. So beginning that day, everything I did in my life was to seek to be myself, to reaffirm who I am, and in everything I did, to be the best of myself. The best of myself, not in the big things, but the best of myself in the way I spoke, the best of myself in the way I combed my hair, the best of myself in the way I dressed, the best of myself in the way I walk, and the best of myself in everything I did. So that at the end of the day, I ask myself the question, Bennett, have you been the best of yourself today? Oh yeah. And that was what brought me to the university. United States of America, I began to discover this great land that was beautiful in magazines and textbooks. I discovered America to be a country where I could be myself. A land that was sufficient for each and every one of us to be who we are, who we were created to be. So I arrived in Seattle October 24, 1994. I was 26 years old. I had only $250 in my pocket. But I promised myself, I shall not live my life at the mercy of someone else's conscience. Not in America. But you saw my family, a very devout Roman Catholic family. I was taught that every human being was good. I did not know about the Holocaust. I did not know about America's experience of slavery. So in Seattle, I rented a room in a predominantly white neighborhood because I did not see myself as a black man. I saw myself as a man. But the first 2 weeks in Seattle, I began to notice certain things. Sometimes I'm walking home, the same police officer will be shining the light at my back and will pull me over and ask me the same questions. I'll go to the neighborhood grocery store, somebody would be following me. So I thought there was something wrong with me because the first time I went to purchase something in the grocery store, it was for $2.99. The cashier asked me to pay about $3.15, and I got upset believing she was cheating me. So when I got home, to the elderly lady I rented a room from, told her what happened, she laughed at me. She said, Bernard, in America there is sales tax. But you know, in most parts of the world, there's the value-added tax that is part of the price. You don't pay the tax after you've purchased the product. So I went to the same woman, and she said to me, well, Bernard, welcome to your America. She asked me to go to the library. The next morning, I went to the library. She told me what book to read. I found the book. By the time I was at about page 1520, I got very agitated and angry. I got home, I bought a pack of Guinness Stout. I stayed indoors for 2-3 days drinking Guinness Stout. The third day, that same voice in me called me by name. What are you gonna do, Bennett? Drink yourself to death? So I got up. What did I do? Remember, as a child, I discovered that education was the key. That if there was something I knew you did not know, I had some power over you. So what did I do? Again, I told you, the greatest challenges of your life, the biggest difficulties of your life are your best opportunities to discover who you are. So what did I do? I encountered this evil called racism. I went to education. My brothers and sisters, that is why today I have 8 degrees and certificates. I may have overcompensated, but it's all well and good. So my advice to you, in this day and age, please, get as much education as you can. Get as much education as you can. I'm standing before you today not because I'm a smart guy. No, my daughter will tell you Daddy is not too smart. That was why he got all that education. But it doesn't matter. I stand before you today. I'm defined by what I know. And that was what led me to chronic traumatic encephalopathy. I have performed over 12,000 autopsies in my life. I can close my eyes and perform an autopsy. In fact, I performed an autopsy this afternoon before I came here. Through my science, I discovered faith. Faith is not religion. Through performing autopsies, I discovered that there is a spirit that lives in each and every one of us. That spirit that lives in me is the same spirit that lives in you. that aspires to the same hopes. So when I wake up in the morning, look myself in the mirror, I see myself. I step out of the door, I look at you, I see myself in you. Look at how beautiful you all are. Woo! As we all are in this hall this evening, we are all one body, one spirit, aspiring for the same hopes and aspirations. So we all are members of one another. Whatever you do, even to the least of us, you do to all of us. Whatever I do to myself, I do to all of you, because we are one intricate body bound together by that spirit, the spirit of truth. So it was my need to enhance the humanity of another human being that led me to CTE. It was a cold Saturday morning. I saw Mike Webster on TV. He was playing this game I saw in Nigeria, where people dressed up as extraterrestrials with big fat heads and padded shoulders, running around the field and slamming into one another. Then after his retirement, he began to exhibit bizarre behavior. So I saw Mike Webster. I walked up to Mike Webster and I said to him, Mike, I don't think there's anything wrong with you. I shall use my education and my knowledge to vindicate you. Again, to enhance the life of another person. And look at where it led me to. So remember that poor child in Africa who felt so inadequate, who felt no good. And yet, I know there are many of you in here that feel that way, who feel you cannot succeed. Don't worry about it. Just like I did, there will be a tomorrow. Look for tomorrow. But come what may, be yourself. Be yourself. It's as simple as that. Who decides who is acceptable or not? That is conformational intelligence, whereby your way of thinking, your mentality, your outlook to life is decided and determined by society, by traditions of society. By the way, who sets those traditions? Who? Someone else like you. So don't listen to what society says. If I had listened to what society said, I could not have discovered CTE. As I was told, I was not the expected messenger. Says who? I remained focused on being the best of myself. It's as simple as that. And in being the best of myself, I recognize that another human being is just like me. So I should not do unto another human being what I wouldn't want done unto me. And if you keep that faith, I bet you, I promise you, I guarantee you by the testament of my own life, you shall never be a failure. Be who you are. Do you feel me? Be who you are. Look inside you. Look inwards. Discover who you are. And ask yourself that question. When I'm 50 years old, where am I gonna be? Don't look at someone else. The moment you look at someone else, you're placing that person above you. You look at someone else, celebrate that person, be happy for that person. But at the same time, be happy for yourself. And don't make money your driving force in life. If you remain true to who you are and be the best of yourself in whatever you do, even if it's being a house cleaner, money will come. Money. Hey, my daughter will make fun of me. My daughter is such a crafty girl. She will tease. She say, "Hey, daddy cuts up dead bodies for a living." It's not a glamorous thing to do. But I promised myself I shall be the best of myself. I shall give it my all. At the end of the day, what would make me happy is if I have given my best. And I'm not complaining to you today. If I tell you I make more money than cardiothoracic surgeons, will you believe me? You wouldn't, but yes I do. Though I shouldn't be saying that. But I'm telling you this to reaffirm that fact. It doesn't matter what you choose to do. As long as what you make up your mind to do is who you are, and you have faith in yourself, look inwards inside you, identify with that spirit that lives inside you, reaffirm that spirit, celebrate that spirit, embrace it, love it. And by that faith, I guarantee you, by my name, Bennett Omalu, what is seemingly impossible will become possible in your life. Who knew? I've been to Praha, I've been everywhere, name it. Who knew that a dilapidated autopsy room in which I did something as humble as an autopsy on a cold, rainy Saturday morning up in the mountains of Allegheny, Pennsylvania, will change the world as we know. I went against the NFL. My father called me up, Bennett, my son, they'll kill you. Says who? The NFL is not bigger than one life. The NFL is just the NFL. I, as a human being, a member of mankind, I reaffirm myself to be myself. It's not about the NFL. It's about the truth I hold dear to myself, that all of us are one family. And whatever I do to myself, I do to another human being, I do to all of us. And if you choose to enhance the humanity of all of us, the humanity of all of us, in being who you are, you'll be successful. And most of all, you'll be happy. Thank you so much.